Oh, hello again for the second time today. If you haven't seen today's first video, check out up here, and also for the rest of the series on Imperial Knights, check out here as well. What we're going to be doing today is looking at the 3 knights together that I finished in the whole series, and going through the basing technique procedures, just to show you the kind of effects that I got, and hopefully you'll enjoy what they look like at the end. As before, aside from the reveal footage, everything here is quite old, so forgive me for like the bad lighting and bad, composition of different shots and stuff, but hopefully by the end you'll have forgotten about all that when you see how these look together. If you want any information on the basing techniques that I don't give out, please give me a message or send me a comment and I will leave you details on what I used. Overall, this has been the longest project I've done so far, so it's weird to see it all just done and sitting on my shelf and to not have done a video of it yet. So this will be a nice way to just round it all off and complete it. And I am genuinely excited to see what you think of all of this coming together, because I've spent more than a year and a half cumulatively on this project. So it's bizarre, but I really do hope you enjoy seeing these things finished, and that will be the main focus of this video, is showing you what they look like. And yeah, it just feels, yeah, it'll be nice to have them shown off and put on display permanently. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing any comments you have on how they look. Please do leave me those, because it's weird seeing them finished and sitting here. So without talking about them anymore, I'm going to get into the techniques that I used, and then I'll show them off at the end. See you soon.
First thing I actually had to do was grind up some coffee with a hand grinder that I got years and years ago and don't use often enough, because I wanted to get some really nice sort of gravel, bark, dirt, mud effects for this, and you'll see later on how it kind of comes together. But then from there, I just ran some PVA glue over all of the bases and then layered the coffee grounds on top of it really heavily, making sure I had some paper underneath so I could recollect anything that fell off the model bases. This kind of gives you really even coverage, but then you can layer things on top of, so you have like a common ground on all different elements, and you can hot glue stuff on top like I did here. Once you kind of got those major things on, add some more dots of PVA and then sort of stipple or dab on your grass basing objects. I used standard model grass and flock together on this to get 2 different effects. But then from there, what I did was I developed a sort of basing solution using different shades and 3 different types of glue, which you'll see here. And once I stirred it all up, I kind of decanted it into a spray bottle, which then I could use to spray over the bases to both darken and seal in the different things that I'd stuck down already. I would have used isopropyl alcohol had I had any at this stage, but I found that adding a little bit of water to the PVA helped break its surface tension and let it spread evenly enough. Doing this also allowed me to sort of do some flick up effects on the models themselves. Ultimately, what I wanted was for these knights to look like they had just been deployed from a fortress, so there was no damage or battle wear on them, but if they're walking about in this kind of terrain, they're going to flick up some dirt, and this kind of gives you that effect. Basically just an old vinaigrette bottle. And from there, it did involve quite a lot of drying time, so I used just a standard heater, and I did almost run into some kind of tragic melting effect, but I did manage to catch things on time before I caused any major kind of damage, so thankfully things weren't too bad. Everyone in the comments will warn me not to use a heater on a plastic model, but at that point I didn't really realise just how dangerous it could be, and I learned from my mistakes. Thankfully didn't lose anything in the process. From there, I moved on to do some of the gore effects on the dead bodies on the bases. There were some Space Marines and some Chaos Space Marines just lying around in different states of wear and decay, and I used some gore effects which I've used in other videos. This time I just used brighter red paint and then shaded it over and over and over again to get it a gloss effect. I just used a terrain tool to get the thicker elements of paint and just spread them over the areas that I wanted them, and to just draw them in chaotic patterns to where they needed to be. And basically once I'd done that, there wasn't really anything left to do. This has without a doubt been the most detailed and complicated project I've done so far. Obviously it's not perfect. I'm at no level to sort of consider my work to be perfect or in any degree good to that extent, but I'm very proud of just the amount of effort and time I've put into this to see it completed. There's 3 separate models from 2 different kits together in a theme that is reflective of each of its different parts and fits together on a display. Looks really good. It isn't quite table legal, but still functions as a piece of Warhammer artwork. It's been a really long time coming, seeing this all come together, so I'm just going to let you sit with the results and see what you think. And if you have any feedback or any information or anything like that you want to know, just leave a comment and I'll chat to you about it now. Just as a final note, in the description of this video you'll find a link to my Buy Me a Coffee page, which you can use to support me if you like. There's absolutely no imperative, same as anything else. It works quite a lot like Patreon, but you can also leave tips. This will help me buy more models to make more videos, and it will help me keep doing this as something more than just a side hustle, because eventually I would like to make it an income. Anything you can contribute is much appreciated, and I'll hopefully see you very soon. Thank you.